The house on Elmwood Street had always been a subject of whispers. For years, it stood in eerie silence, its once grand facade now cloaked in ivy and shadows. The Forsaken Manor, as it was known, loomed like a sentinel over the neighborhood, its darkened windows holding secrets no one dared to unveil. When I inherited the manor from my great-aunt Gertrude, I thought it would be an adventure, a fresh start, a place to call my own. My friends warned me about the tales, the missing children, the eerie lights, the unending whispers. But I shrugged them off, attributing them to small-town gossip. The first night in the manor was unsettling. The wind howled through the broken shutters, and the floorboards creaked as if bearing the weight of unseen footsteps. I brushed it off as my imagination playing tricks on me. I settled into bed, the ancient wood groaning under my weight. Around midnight, I awoke to a faint whispering. It was barely audible, like the rustle of leaves. I strained to listen, but it stopped. I sighed and turned over, trying to calm my racing heart. Suddenly, I felt a chill, a presence watching me. I flicked on the bedside lamp, but there was nothing there, just the shadows dancing on the walls. The next day, I explored the house, trying to shake off the uneasy feeling. The manor was filled with relics of a bygone era, faded portraits, dusty furniture, and bookshelves laden with tomes that looked older than time itself. In the attic, I found a locked trunk. After much struggle, I pried it open, revealing a collection of old photographs and letters. One photograph caught my eye, a portrait of a woman in a black dress, her eyes hauntingly sad. The back of the photo was inscribed with the name Eliza. Among the letters, I found one addressed to Gertrude. It spoke of a curse, a tragic love story, and a warning to never enter the basement. Naturally, I was drawn to the forbidden. That evening, with a flashlight in hand, I descended the creaky stairs to the basement. The air grew colder with each step. My flashlight beam cut through the darkness, revealing a room filled with old furniture, broken mirrors, and a large, ornate mirror against the far wall. As I approached the mirror, I felt the temperature drop further. My breath fogged in the cold air. Suddenly, the mirror's surface shimmered, and I saw her. Eliza, the woman from the photograph. Her eyes were filled with sorrow as she reached out to me, her lips moving in silent plea. Panicked, I stumbled backward, tripping over a broken chair. The mirror's surface rippled, and Eliza vanished. I scrambled to my feet and fled the basement, slamming the door behind me. My heart pounded in my chest as I tried to rationalize what I'd seen. That night, the whispering returned, louder and more insistent. It wasn't just one voice, but a cacophony of mournful cries. "Help us!" they begged. "Free us!" The voices filled my mind, echoing off the walls of my skull. I covered my ears, but it did nothing to stop the sound. Desperate, I revisited the letters. They told of Eliza, a woman betrayed by love who cursed the manor and all who lived there. Her spirit, along with others who had suffered in the house, were trapped, unable to move on. The only way to break the curse was to reunite Eliza with her lost love, whose soul was also bound to the manor. Determined to end the nightmare, I delved deeper into the history of the house. I found a portrait of Eliza's lover, James, hidden behind a false wall in the library. The resemblance to the spectral figure I saw in the mirror was unmistakable. That night, I placed the portrait of James next to the mirror in the basement. The air grew thick with anticipation. Slowly, the mirror shimmered, and Eliza appeared again. This time, James's reflection appeared beside her. The two spirits reached out for each other, their fingers almost touching through the glass. The manor shook violently as the spirits finally connected. A blinding light filled the room, and the whispering ceased. When the light faded, both Eliza and James were gone. The mirror was shattered, its curse lifted. In the days that followed, the manor felt different, lighter, almost welcoming. The whispers were gone, and the air was warm. I moved out shortly after, unable to shake the memories of that night. Years later, the house on Elmwood Street still stands, but it no longer looms with menace. New families moved in, never experiencing the horrors that once plagued the Forsaken Manor. The story of Eliza and James became a local legend, a tale to frighten children on dark nights. But I know the truth. I lived it. And sometimes, late at night, I still hear the faintest whisper, a reminder of the love that lingered long after death.